Hello everyone, Impiator here. Welcome back to my beginner's guide to Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. This is part 6. So in the last episode we ended up wrapping out some Harada Estate stuff. We ended up beating the Lady Butterfly, and we're about to head into kind of the rest of the Ashina Castle area, and my goal for this is to basically have us beat Genichiro by the end of this episode. With that though, let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to go down that hole that I pointed out earlier and deal with a ninja. Now this guy's no pushover, so if you want to skip this guy, that's fine. The main reason I like to do this is because it allows us to get another prayer bead and prep for the fight against Genichiro. That also means we might get another couple of abilities in that we can get too. So again, we're climbing up here. I'm going to kill this guy just so he doesn't alert all the rest of the enemies in the camp. And then we're going to pop over here. Make sure you've talked to this guy, by the way, because we are going to be using him in the side quest a little later. So here is the guy. We're going to go ahead and drop down on top of him. Or not. Well, as long as you don't attack him on the way down, you can repeat that drop. Alright, let's try this again. There we go. So you got the same kind of 4-hit attack that the other guy did. Otherwise, very, very similar fights, but in a much smaller area, which is why I recommended waiting. I don't recommend going this way yet. This actually has a headless, I believe, or a Shichiman warrior, one of the two, and it will be coming back here a little later when we have equipment that's better capable of dealing with that. For now, though, we're going to exit the... I guess I'd call this a well, probably. And then we're going to go ahead and head back over to the main Ashina Castle entrance. So, if you have followed the last episode, we ended up killing the mini-boss up there and got basically all the items on the right-hand side, on the ground level anyway. So now we're going to climb up. So these guys are kind of a pain, but if you keep attacking them over and over and over, they usually just don't know what to do. I will say, whenever you're dealing with multiple of them, the Whirlwind Slash is an excellent ability, because Whirlwind Slash actually leaves you invulnerable for a good chunk of the actual attack. So, anyway. Just kind of look around, make sure you find those enemies, try to sneak up on them if you can. So that attack you can parry. Again, because they jump around quite a bit, you can also hit them with shurikens. Otherwise, they also don't like stabs all that much, so... if I'm dealing with them, I tend to stab them a lot. So we're basically just kind of following the path that has these little things on them, so Around the corner here. Actually, I think it's up here. Yeah, so around the corner here, there's one. There's also one in the distance right there. There's one over there, too. In addition, there's also a guy flying a kite out there. If you get kind of in the middle of kind of this tower behind this enemy that we're seeing in the distance, he will basically come and hit us with all of his might. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and kill this guy. That's usually going to incite one of these guys to attack us. So I'm going to go over here and try to deal with them one at a time. Ugh. These guys are so irritating. Of all the enemies in the game, I have probably some of the biggest problems with the Nightjar enemies. Is there another one who's attacking us from the left? But again, if you can split them up, you'll be fine. Okay, so now that we've dealt with them, we can go and get this pellet. And then as we cross over kind of the middle here, this guy's going to come down. We can block his attack. So these ones like to give fire to their attacks, so kill them quickly. So, this next section is kind of up to you. I hate this area because one of these guys will end up alerting all of the rest of them, and you'll end up having a bunch of them. So if you want to make a beeline for it, run straight till you get to the edge of this, turn right, and then grapple into the window. Otherwise, though, I am going to try to get all the items that are out here. So there is one of them. And as you can see, he just alerted all of them. Huge pain. So this is how you would avoid it. Got another gourd seed. Now I would go ahead and grab this idol before we go back out there, because you're probably going to die dealing with these enemies. Again, one right there. So, always like the Gotchin sugar. We can go ahead and make use of that. Work smarter, not harder. Alright, so last one is over there. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Oh well. Sweet! Okay. Why it is not grabbing? There we go. Okay, so now we can go ahead and get the Ungo Sugar, not have to worry about the enemy attacking us. So there's nothing down there, by the way, worth getting, so don't worry too much about that. Oh, there's another one. Well then, we'll deal with you quick. Okay. Now we dealt with those enemies, we can come back in here and kind of progress this area proper. Still not quite there yet. Could go ahead and start down the Shinobi Eyes path too. So I'm going to go around the back here, and there's going to be an enemy who likes to do thrust attacks. I am terrible with these guys, so I tend to do stealth attacks on them most of the time. I can deal with them one at a time, okay, I guess, but there's several of them in this area. So I recommend sneaking up behind them. Also, this old lady will alert the enemies to your presence, so we're going to unfortunately have to kill her too. Oh no. Crap. Come on, go back the way you came. Okay. Dealing with one of them's not too bad. Again, Makiri counter them. Okay, so he's dead. They're gonna come around here, grab another pellet. Around here for scrap iron, Paco's sugar. Then we have another one of these panels that we can get behind. Got another prayer bead. Light coin purse. Heavy coin purse. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and enhance our attack power. We're about to face a mini-boss as well as Genichiro. So, in order to get in there, we're going to have to climb. So come up here. The Gashin sugar. And I like to death blow the enemy. And then I'm going to open up this door to try to avoid the two coming enemies that are coming our way. Otherwise, we're going to deal with 3 of these enemies that do these attacks. again, you can kind of bait them into doing the thrust attack if you want. And then these enemies are here. We can go ahead and run it behind one of them. Kill him. Back off. These guys are kind of the same way, a little harder to deal with though. Again, try to bait them to do the thrusting attack. So, got a ceramic shard. We are going to go that way here in a minute, but we're going to head upstairs first. Make a left, grab a Gokon sugar, and grab another idol. Okay, so we kind of have two options. We can either go through there. We can also head down here. And do this again. He's not being baited like he usually is. There we go. Okay. So, we can wait to do this or do it now. I'm going to go ahead and do it now. So, there are 3 of these enemies in here. I'm going to go ahead and equip the shurikens. I'm basically going to spam that until I can get one of them dead. I'm going to back off. And now 2 of them's not that bad. Stab attacks are always pretty good against these guys. So over here we have eel liver. We also have pellets. Let's talk about what the eel liver is. So we're about to be against a boss who has 3 phases, and he can hit us with electricity in the 3rd phase. There are a couple of different ways to deal with it. I'm going to show you what is really the proper way to deal with it, but if you have struggles with it, you could use the eel liver to reduce the amount of damage that you're going to take from the electricity attacks. So generally we want to catch the lightning and then actually attack with it, but you have to be midair in order to catch the lightning, so you'll have to jump into a lightning attack to use it. So don't worry too much about it if you can't catch it. It's not an absolute requirement for the fight, though it will make the fight a lot easier. But the eel liver will ensure we don't take as much damage with it, so something to consider. I don't usually require it for the fight, but you may, and I wanted to make sure that you got at least one of these here. So we're gonna head upstairs, grab Ishin's letter. Now you kind of have 2 different directions you can go. You can climb this tower all the way up there if you have trouble with the mini-boss that we're about to face. Otherwise, though, I usually do end up facing the mini-boss that we're about to face first. So I'm going to go ahead and head down, and we're going to go through the other door that we skipped out on. Not quite yet. Okay. So the way that this mini-boss works is basically he's got a gimmick. He's going to do 2 very, very fast swings in quick succession, and you're going to need to double tap the block button very quickly in order to do this. Otherwise, he's going to pretty much kill you in just a handful of hits with his attacks. So, you can get him a couple times if you want to, but really, that's what you want to do. The secret is to just tap it quickly as he attacks, and you'll be able to nail him with a attack. So this guy's really meant to be kind of a test of your deflection abilities because Genichiro is next. And Genichiro is a boss that you absolutely cannot beat unless you use deflections. It's basically impossible. So bear in mind that this is meant to be kind of a attempt to force you to learn deflections. So go ahead and grab this item. More eel livers. Got pellets. We got scrap magnetite. And I forgot, there's actually another remnant out here if you want to, again, catch more of the story. Otherwise, before we go fight Genichiro, I'm going to go ahead and go spend some of the money that I have, just in case we end up losing this fight. So I'm going to head over to... we'll head to this stairway on the outskirts. We're going to go talk to the vendors over there first. This will also be an opportunity to see what Anayama, I think is his name, has right now to purchase. He eventually is going to want help, by the way, so we can actually go talk to Kotaro in order to get him help.
Greetings. Go on.
So, I don't really care about ceramic shards or fistful of ash. I'll buy the pellets. Phantom kunai is for doing upgrades. We don't really need it right now. It's also not even that particularly useful, but it will allow us to continue down the tree of upgrade opportunities, so we will eventually buy it, but it's not something we really want to have right now. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to head to the memorial mob that's here as well. Go see what he has for purchase. So remember to come back to these guys periodically.
Where you find wherever.
At least until you buy all their gear anyway. Now we also have the vendor at the dilapidated temple. And we can also go ahead and probably get some upgrades as well for the Shinobi prosthetic. We also just got a gourd seed, so we'll go ahead and talk to Emma while we're here too.
Goodbye.
It appears as though you...
Yes, I saw.
I won't... Oh.
Sculptor. What did you tell me?
That way.
So, it's also worth mentioning, we can now start giving out sake to enemies. We picked up the first sake from Juzo, and this is going to allow us to basically get some more nuggets of information about the world around us, about the characters. There are, I think, 4 different types of sake, and you can get the sculptor to drink them, you can get Emma to drink them, and you can get Ishin to drink them once we meet Ishin. So, those will allow you to learn more information about the world, as well as later, whenever some story stuff happens, it'll give Wolf a lot more insight into some of what's going on. So, not absolutely required, but if you want to learn more about the story, it'll kind of, make them inebriated to tell you more. Otherwise, though, we'll go ahead and do the upgrade. And I do not have enough of any items yet to do an upgrade, so that's okay.
Another...
Let's go see what this dude has to offer for sales as well.
Hey, there's still...
Alright, so he's got a lot of stuff. We'll go ahead and purchase all the pellets from him.
Until now.
And that's good. We'll be fine with that. So now we're going to travel back to the Ashina Dojo, and we're going to tackle Genichiro. So, you remember fighting Genichiro whenever we were initially starting the game. We'll come out here, climb up here, and once you step foot over there, it'll begin. So, Genichiro basically has a lot of attacks. He's also a stronger version of the boss that we fought at the very beginning of the game, who you probably died to anyway. The biggest things about him, though, is that you absolutely must learn to deflect the attacks here. This is not a boss that you can cheese your way through. I mean, yes, you can, but you are meant to learn this boss. And up to this point, the game has been trying to push you towards understanding that deflections are the main method of fighting this boss. And I'll be honest with you, whenever I first started this game and I got to this point, I was still trying to avoid deflections. I was still trying to power through enemies with dodges. I was trying to treat it like a Dark Souls game, which is funny because I hadn't yet even gotten into the Dark Souls games before I played this game. This was my first Dark Souls game that I really took the effort to learn. So I really shied away from the idea of learning deflections. But you can do it. It's not that hard. He basically has a multi-hit combo, and you're going to want to be able to catch those hits. He'll also typically, if you try to heal, he will try to shoot you with an arrow, so you want to be far enough away from him so that you can heal, and then as the arrow reaches you, you want to be able to block or deflect that. He will also do thrust attacks. In fact, he'll do thrust attacks quite a bit, so he'll usually do a thrust after he does his kind of jump attack, or he will do a swipe attack. So we'll actually see kind of the difference in that, because his first phase and second phase are a little bit different, because he usually won't use thrusts as much, or he'll use thrusts at different points than he will in the first version. But otherwise, let's go ahead and fight him, and let's see kind of what this is like.
Face me.
So right off the bat, he's probably going to ding you with an arrow. So that attack is his grab attack. You absolutely do not want to be hit by that. So he's got 2 hits he'll sometimes do. And again, he usually follows up the... There we go. He usually follows up your attempt to heal with that. If he's closer, he'll usually follow up the hit with his bow with a couple of swings. So there is where he does the Makiri counter. In his second phase, he'll do a swipe attack a lot more often. Come on, do your combo. So he usually has a multi-hit combo that he will do a lot of. Come on. So that's a sweep attack. You can nail him with a attack, basically jumping on his head. So again, just trying to let you kind of see what he's got. Yeah, we can Makiri counter that. Oh, I did not mean to get grabbed by that. That's his grab attack. So again, most important thing about this fight is to be aggressive. Alright, let's go ahead and kill him. Here's his first two swings. You can exit out of that attack and then kind of walk off. And you can hit him with probably an Ichimonji at that point. Again, that thrust, by the way, will either be a thrust after the jump attack, or it will be a horizontal slash, which you can jump on top of his head with. So you're basically going to be just trading blows with him. So he'll sometimes do that where he does multiple hits. So some people prefer, by the way, whenever he does the jump and the thrust, to actually get out of his way and then do an Ichimonji afterwards. Kind of up to you which way you want to do that. But that's going to be his first phase. So in his second phase, he's going to basically do all the same stuff. However, he likes his combo with his a lot more now. He's also going to end up, instead of doing the thrust attack, sometimes he's going to do, instead, a swipe attack. One thing that's also really important to understand about the combat in this is even if you have a full bar of posture, as long as you are doing deflections, it will not break the bar. As long as your deflections are successful, even if you're all the way up, it will not increase the bar. So take advantage of that. And again, just try to be aggressive. So that is his second stage. However, he does have a third stage. He'll almost always start this fight off with a thrust attack. Whenever he jumps like that, jump into the air, catch the attack, and as you land, press R1. Otherwise, his attacks are basically all the same. But he usually follows up that combo with a thrust. Alright, and that's him. Obviously, I stuck around, let you see me get hit by him a bunch of times, but if you're willing to, you know, put the effort in, he's really not that difficult. Now we got one of the, in my opinion, one of the coolest abilities, especially for dealing with lots of enemies, which is the Blood Smoke ninjutsu. It will not let us pause the game yet. Okay, so now we have ninjutsu. We're only going to end up getting 3 options for this. The other 2 tend to be more situational. There's basically the bestowal ninjutsu, which allows you to get a upgrade on your attack damage. We'll get that much later. We'll also get the blood smoke one, and there's also one that allows you to control enemies, which is very situational. So I would say until we get the bestowal one, we're pretty much always going to be using the blood smoke one. So go ahead and equip it. And then we're going to go ahead and rest at the idol. So at this stage, we now have 4. We could probably go ahead and grab Shinobi Eyes. The next thing I'm going to go for is going to be Breath of Life Light. So it's going to be a little while before we get access to that, but we'll probably be heading towards Mount Kogo after this, as well as the temple that we kind of touched on earlier. But until then, I think that's going to wrap it out for this episode. Thank you everybody for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Later.